guys, it's Ashley from Ashart Books, and today I'm going to be talking about books that I think would make amazing movies. So probably like a lot of you, while I love romance books, I also love a good romance movie or just movie in general. So I've got kind of a selection here of books I've read and really enjoyed that I think would make really, really good movies. So I'm excited to share. First book I would love to see be made into a movie is One Week to Claim It All by Adriana Herrera. This book is about our heroine who is kind of the illegitimate daughter of this like media mogul. But her father passes away and leaves her this opportunity to become the CEO of the company. And with that, she is kind of paired up against her past love who's working for the company. So it's an office place romance too. So I think this one just has so many parts to it that would make a great movie. I love an office place romance. I think that leads to a lot of like hijinks. I also really love in this book how a big part of the story, and especially a big part for our heroine, is having Latinx culture and diversity in media. And that's a big kind of part of the story. And I just think that would be great to see on the big screen. This book did an amazing job just with the family and the food. And I just loved every aspect of this. And I think I can just really visualize it on the screen. Plus, since it's about a media company, I think it would be really cool to see it as a movie. And overall, I just love these characters and would love to see them on the big screen. So next I've got two historical romances that I would love to see on the big screen. So for me, I have always loved a period drama. And I think nowadays, especially since Bridgerton has been such a success and so many people have liked it, I think I would love to see more made into period dramas. One that was one of my top reads of the year so far was My Darling Duke by Stacey Reid. This book was just perfection in my opinion. I loved every second of it. But the reason I think this would make a great movie is because it kind of has all the tropes and the parts of a rom-com just in a historical setting. So in this one, our heroine basically needs help to kind of give her family standing and money and kind of a name. So she decides to fake an engagement to a duke who no one has seen for years. He's kind of recluse. She's thinking in her head, this isn't gonna hurt anybody. I'll just pretend for a little bit and then we'll call it off. Well, unbeknownst to her, the Duke finds out, but rather than being like mad about it, he is just kind of intrigued about this woman and like, what is she doing? This one has some of my favorite tropes in it that I think would be great to see, which is a forced proximity, kind of like a fake, obviously like a fake dating, fake engagement. There's like a one bed situation. And I just think the chemistry in this was so, so good that I would just die to see this in a movie form. So love this one, and I think it would be a perfect adaptation. The second historical I would love to see as a film is A Blues Singer to Redeem Him by Elle Jackson. This one is different and I like that. This one, I think a lot of period dramas are always kind of taking place in the same time period and the same location, you know, Regis in England being one of the main places. This book is very different because of a lot of things, but one thing is it takes place in the 1920s in the United States. So it kind of has that whole prohibition, speakeasy atmosphere that I think draws in, and I think it was really gorgeous on film, kind of like Gatsby-esque. Our main character in this wants to become a blues singer. So you do have that speakeasy atmosphere because she is very talented, and that's where a large portion of the story takes place. Another really important part of this book is kind of the look at racial injustice of our main character, who is a Black woman, but also our couple is an interracial couple, and especially at that time, it was a very dangerous thing. I think the way the author took that part and looked at the injustice and also put that into a really lovely love story with those speakeasy vibes is just something I would love to see on screen, more diversity on the screen, and something that's different and not the same time period that we're always kind of seeing. The next book I would love to see as a movie is a little bit different, and that is Wolf Gone Wild by Juliet Cross. So this is actually a paranormal romance, which I feel like we don't see, well, maybe a little bit more recently, but for a while, we really weren't seeing those being made into movies. And I feel like it's kind of coming back. And this would make a perfect movie because our main character is a witch and her family are witches. She has a whole bunch of sisters and they are witches in New Orleans, and it has such magical vibes to it, but also it really does feel like a small town romance. And I think it's because even though New Orleans is not a small town, the paranormal community in this book is very small and kind of tight-knit. Everybody knows each other and each other's kind of business. And so I think that always makes for a really fun movie and book as well. So I always sell this to people as paranormal romance meets small town romance, and I just think this is perfect. Our hero is a werewolf, and I think seeing that part of it as well as the magic and what it would look like taking the girl's magic and putting it on screen would be really cool just for special effects. And I don't know, this one just has so much heart to it too, that I think that's another aspect that would be great, just to see kind of what it would look like in a different format. And also just one of my favorite books and series ever, so it'd be a lot of fun to see it made into something else. The next one I want to talk about is The Summer Seekers by Sarah Morgan. To me, this one's a little different, and it definitely sits kind of on that line between romance and women's fiction. This would make a great movie because it takes place in the summertime. It follows 3 different women who are all kind of at different places in their lives and are having different kinds of problems and trying to kind of work through them. We've got one of our character who is, I think, about 80, and she just really wants to kind of recapture her adventure that she had when she was younger. So she decides to go on a road trip on Route 66 in the United States. She's from England. And then her daughter is another character who is just kind of at a place where she feels really stuck and doesn't know how to kind of find the joy in life again. And then we have our third character who becomes the driving companion of our character, and she is in her late 20s and just kind of feels like her love life is a mess. She doesn't know what to do with her life, and it's just kind of like a start over. So this one just has such cool settings. I think would make a really good one. A road trip, first of all, is always a good movie. And I think just seeing Route 66 and all the different stops you could make along the way and show would be a lot of fun. And then the other part of the book takes place in England, and it takes place on the very picturesque ocean front. So I think that would be beautiful as well. And I think this one again is very heartwarming, and I think it has a little bit of something for every person who picks up the book. So I think it would make a good film because of the same thing. I also listened to this one on audio, and even just having the audio in my ears, I felt like I could really picture these characters. So having the visual part of it in some kind of film would be even more fun. The last 2 I picked because to me, they have a really perfect small town romance. And I love that. That's one of my favorite things in a movie, especially if it's a romance being turned into a movie. The first one I have is That Second Chance by Megan Quinn. This one takes place in kind of the quintessential small town in the Northeast. I believe it takes place in Maine. Our main hero, his family owns a shop kind of in the area that's kind of touristy, so you get to see that aspect of it. It's got a lot of characters that are like friends and family that everyone knows everybody's business, and there's a big like rumor mill going on about the family, but in like a somewhat nice way, if you know what I mean. Like they try to be nice, but they still are gonna gossip about you. And then our heroine is kind of like the new person in town, kind of the fish out of water, which is always funny and kind of fun to watch a character kind of go through that. You kind of figure out the town and everybody in it through her. So I really liked the romance in this. I really loved the setting. I really liked the atmosphere of this, kind of a small town vibe, and I just would love to see this one made into a film. The last book I have is Much Ado About You by Samantha Young. This one is, again, I can just perfectly picture this as a movie, and I did while I was reading it. So this one takes place for the most part in northern England. So our main character is from the US, but her love life is just not going well. Her work life is not going well. And she kind of just feels like she doesn't know what to do. So she takes this kind of risk and takes this opportunity to go on a vacation, but run a bookstore at the same time for a month in the northern part of England. And I loved everything about this. It was so relatable. Our main character was just everything she said, I felt like I was nodding my head to. And then the town is really cool. All the characters, it's got very well developed side characters, quirky, fun, but also have real storylines. That's something I look for when I look for like a small town romance. Like, does it have the awesome side characters that you really love as well? Our hero in this is so good. I loved Rowan so much. He was just such a good person, like a genuinely good person, that I think I would love to see more of that sometimes in a movie. And again, it takes place in such a kind of picturesque place and kind of a, you know, again, it's kind of that fish out of water, like learning a different kind of culture in England, different setting, that I just think would make the perfect movie. Okay guys, so those are all of my picks for books that I would love to see be made into movies, but obviously there's a lot out there that are already made into movies, so I would love to hear some of your favorite like book to movie or TV adaptations. Definitely let me know down below. Thank you so much for watching, and if you want to see more videos all about the romance in your books, make sure to subscribe down below. Bye!